Everyone has different tastes, for sure.
Some niggas so stupid, yo.
Dennis at Wawa, and he's the king of Wawa.
You still at it?
What the fuck? Who else am I gonna talk to? Literally nobody else to talk to. Y'all don't talk to me. I can't text nobody. This shit's fucking hell.
Nigga, I was on.
The titties might get you out of room.
That's
50-year-old niggas
been going on
for a living. You know, somebody might scoop me up and care about me.
Okay, y'all, listen. I'm really going to try not to raise my voice. I'm seriously trying not to get overly passionate about what I'm about to say, because this was a tough listen. And I'm cool with people having off days. I get that. Nobody is perfect 100% of the time. But when you start watching your co-host's behavior and you're missing obvious cues, something is off. I've been saying this for weeks now, and it feels like every single episode I'm pointing out a new tension. Mona is clashing with Mark over this. Mona is clashing with Ice over that. Mona is clashing with Ish and Joe over something else. But today's episode, everything happened at once. They were literally ignoring Mona, flat out ignoring her. She was talking, trying to make her point, and they just kept going, stayed on whatever topic they were on, like she wasn't even there. They don't care anymore. And as frustrated as I want to be with Mona, because yes, you talk too much, you talk way too much. And if you read the comments, that's all people are saying. She talks too much, pass the ball, but she's fighting for her life right now. And because Joe isn't giving her any cues, it's turning into a bad listening experience. People will swear up and down until they're blue in the face. Mona is funny. Mona is good. Mona is great. Mona is already a businesswoman, that she has a successful pod. They'll tell you all of that non-stop. But this isn't working. A conversation needs to happen behind the scenes. And let me be clear, I'm not putting all of this on Mona. She's scrambling, because honestly, she reminds me a lot of Flip when he first came on. Flip even admitted it himself. He said the money he made from skits, even though it was high for skit creators, it wasn't enough for the amount of work he was putting in. I remember Flip being hype about $10,000. That was his ceiling at the time. Joe showed him a new lane, a whole different way of living. It changed his life, and it changed the content he makes. Mona is at that exact stage right now. Because yes, her podcast does numbers, but then you hear Ian talk about what happens when people sign deals. She had a podcast signed elsewhere, and I really thought Breakbeat Media was finished. I did. But then I started seeing the Juvenile and Manny Fresh podcast, and I said, wow, this is fire. Next thing you know, Breakbeat is attached to it, immediately. Oh, you want to leave? Isn't this deal working? Cool, keep it moving. I thought they were done. They replaced her fast, found a new cash cow, just like that. Mona does stand-up comedy. She's openly saying she's doing smaller circuits right now, so she's coming off a deal she lost. Not in a shady way, she's just no longer at Breakbeat Media. She's funding her own operation now. And y'all are confused why she's talking so much. I'm trying to lock in my spot. And just like we blamed Flip, when he went from 2 days to 1, we blamed him. Then I recently said it was Mark's fault. I was wrong both times. Joe was doing this to test Mona, to acclimate her. Remember when Jaiwan was popping up on the pod? He wasn't there every episode. He wasn't there every day. Joe was watching. He wanted to see if Mona fit. And if you watch today's Patreon, Joe's face said everything, the entire episode. You can call it speculation all you want, but it's done. Mona, and this is the part that really clicked for me today, we keep assuming she's reading Patreon comments. She doesn't even subscribe to the Joe Budden Patreon. So how in the world would she be reading those comments? She doesn't see that stuff, and it shows. Because when she brought up her story, when she was talking about Imani and what the JBP universe was saying, she referenced TikTok, because that's where she is. She's on TikTok. She's not tapped into this over here. She's not on Twitter searching up what people are saying about her on JBP, unless it's positive. And unfortunately, if she's not paying attention at all, or even worse, if she is paying attention and doubling down anyway, either way, it's not a good look. Every time I say this isn't working, every time I say this is bad, every time I say she's not a good fit, people think I'm attacking her personally. No, she's just not a good fit here. And unless something changes, this sentiment is only going to grow. It's not going to die out. It's not going to cool off. People aren't going to gaslight themselves into thinking content is good just because others tell them it is. That's not how this works. The feeling is growing. So unless there's a real conversation behind the scenes, because I hear Mona fighting, not just fighting for her life on the mic, I hear her clearly telling them how she feels, and they're laughing it off like it's a joke. I'm not messing with y'all up here. I'm not messing with y'all up here. She's saying it. Now here's a quick life lesson. Listen closely. If you're in a new environment and you want to stay in that environment, don't walk in talking crazy about everyone there, except the owner. Anywhere you go, especially at work, the people who actually work there run things day to day. The people at the top oversee. They're not in the daily interactions. So if you're on mic, say ICE, saying everyone outside of Joe and Mark can't do anything, saying they're not about nothing, that's another reason this reminds me of Flip, because Flip viewed them the same way, since they don't create content outside of the pod. And yes, there's way more money out there than content creation. I understand that. When you come up with making money from content, paying bills off content, you want to shout it from the rooftops. I do that too, I get it. But what I don't do is get on here saying everyone who doesn't create content is trash. No, you don't get to do that, then turn around and wonder why people ignore you and don't mess with you. You already made it clear you don't mess with them. But here's the reality check. I work here. My position is secure. You can think I'm trash, call me trash, say I'm trash in your eyes, say I'm trash in the audience's eyes. That's fine. But I'm secure here. You're not. You're not. And because you're fighting so hard, and because the audience isn't rocking with you, I don't even have to say anything. I'm justified in ignoring you. And just so we're clear, every single tension I pointed out, with every single one of them, I was right. Every single one. And here's the thing, it's only going to hurt Mona. Nobody else is getting fired if Joe gets fed up with her. And I'm thinking she's not going to get fired, but I keep seeing this comment pop up more and more, and honestly, I agree. She's on a J1 contract, right? This is wild. I'm not saying she can't create content, but let's be real, because I see this a lot. I'll end it on this note. People say, when Mel was here, y'all wanted her to speak more. When Anon is here, y'all want her to shut up. Y'all just don't want a woman's presence. Y'all hate women. Y'all are incels. I see this all the time, but you don't see any of them trying to get on The View. You don't see them trying to appear on Call Her Daddy. You don't see them trying to acclimate to a purely female audience. And yes, we love the women in this community, but let's be clear. They tell me all the time, we weren't here for the female presence. We were already watching Joe before any women came on. And then we always talk about Rory Miles' era being the best podcast. Was there a woman there? No. Did they get called incels or accused of hating women? No. And they were able to put out their content. It looks worse for Mona though, because her material is wild. But this is my material. This is my audience. They rock with me because I'm raw, open, and raunchy. And y'all, you're tiptoeing around. And when I call it out, y'all look at me like I'm crazy. No, our audiences just don't match. But Joe is only looking at numbers, analytics. Not the real analytics that say, this demographic tunes in for her on these days. This demographic tunes in for them on those days. He's just seeing, I have both demographics. And you know what? This would be a perfect time for a Patreon leak. I want to see it. Not the money, I don't care about that. I want to see the subscribers you had when that leak happened. Then we can really discuss this. And yes, I broke my promise. I said I wouldn't yell, and that's exactly what I did in this entire video. I'm sorry, but y'all let me know in the comments. Am I overreacting like always, or do you feel the same way? Is this getting hard to watch? I didn't even want to finish this Patreon today. This was wild. Either way, like the video if you like the video, subscribe if you haven't. If you have, you know how we rock. You already know how we work. And if you think this was intense, go to Patreon. I'm gonna let Joe have it. Decisions need to be made. Peace.